Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your host, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. This is more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 24 of the Real Smoke Podcast. We are your host, that guy somewhere over there in a new place every time. He's like Carmen Sandiego. Where in the world is Mick Sandiego? Anyways, that dude over there is Mick. Say hi, Mick.
Hi, fam.
I'm Charles. We are your host on here tonight, and we have a fantastic show for you. We have a lot going on, but before that happens, we do need to say a shout out to our sponsor.
The Real Smoke Podcast is brought to you by the Cigar Vault Oakdale, your ultimate destination for premium cigars and unforgettable experiences. Whether you're a seasoned aficionado or just starting your cigar journey, they've got you covered. Find them on Instagram at Cigar Vault Oakdale or online at thecigarvault.com. Here's a treat for our listeners. Use promo code REALSMOKE to save 10% on your next order. Let the Cigar Vault Oakdale unlock your next great cigar.
Yeah. Thank you, Cigar Vault Oakdale. I still love that tagline. I love that tagline.
Yeah, so not only did you do the new opener, the new commercial for Cigar Vault, you even created a tagline that like they fell in love with, man. It's amazing. That's why people love us, man. It's all you, brother. I appreciate it.
We've got a lot of new stuff on here tonight. We do have a lot of our commercials and stuff like that are going to that'll be a lot like that. So that's pretty awesome.
Hell yeah. Really, really awesome.
So make sure that anybody who's on here, we got people coming in right now. Do us a favor. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead, and if you're not subscribed to us, go subscribe to us. Make sure that you do put in the comments, hashtag Real Smoke. We do have a few prizes to give away tonight. We have our normal $25 gift cards for the Cigar Vault in Oakdale, which we have to say thank you every week for that one because, guys, you have to thank as well. Make sure that you send them a thank you. If you win, make sure you send them a thank you. We also have a special prize. Just happened to be told to us today.
Thank you, brother Lou. Lure Cigars. Hooking us up again.
We're going to be smoking one of Lou's cigars tonight. We're going to be smoking this one right here, the Oscuro. And when he saw that, he said, "Hey, can I give away a prize?" And I said, "Sure. What do you got?" And he said, "I want to give a T-shirt and I want to give 5 cigars out to a winner." And as always, we said, "Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. We greatly appreciate that one." So that'll be one of the prizes tonight. So yeah, you
phenomenal.
You can't say enough about that guy. The guy is more generous than just about anybody I know.
Yeah, we love his cigars, so it's just an added bonus that we're good friends with Lou, and I mean he pops on our Herf all the time with the TriStar crew, and just to say hello, and he's always willing to help us out to continue to build this community like we strive to do every week. So thank you, Lou. Amazing.
Yeah, Lou, you're fantastic. So what's up this week, bro? What do you got going on? Let's talk.
Oh man, not much. So I know you and I talked off air a little bit. So yep, there's one thing to talk about. We can talk about that first.
Oh, you want to go ahead and talk about that first? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it decided to pop up for some reason. I mean,
so you and I had talked. We do have new stickers that come out. We can slap these everywhere. We bought a few hundred of them. This one, after talking about it with you for a while, we'll let out our little secret to everybody. Instead of hooking it to our Instagram page, just in case Big Brother decides to cancel us again, this one is hooked to our link tree, which we have control over, which we can continue to put new stuff on. So it's amazing. So yeah, we're excited about those stickers. Takes you right to our link tree with all of our stuff, our merch, our YouTube, our Rumble, our Twitter, and all of our sponsors links are also available by hitting that QR code. So yeah, we're super excited to get that sticker out and about.
And I will say this, I don't know how many collaborations he's done, but I do know that he seemed a little bit shocked when I asked if he wanted to do a collaboration. And this is not a Lou Fest. I promise you guys, it is not a Lou Fest. But
it can be. It's fun.
We just did a collaboration. Guys, if you know any of the swag that Lou puts out for Lure Cigars, he is probably number one on the swag game. And his sticker game is what I want to be able to do. But this is one of the stickers. This is a spoof off of one of his stickers. And when I was talking to him about it, I said, I love this sticker. This is one of my favorite stickers that you guys put out. I would love to do a spoof of this sticker that not only represents you, which it just happens to have the lure on there that he has on there. That's part of his logo, but it represents us and it pays homage to your dad. And when he came up with this one, he nailed it. I mean, it's I think it's fantastic. So thanks, Lou, for that one. We'll be getting you some of those out, and they'll be hitting a few. We're not going to put these in every one of them. These may end up turning into a Patreon only kind of thing. We may put out one or two into some boxes, but I do see this one probably because we only got 50 of them. And by the time I give Mick some and I give Lou some, there's not going to be many left over. So it could easily become a Patreon only sticker.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, man. It's beautiful. That hologram is such a cool sticker.
Oh yeah, I will be getting some more done in the regular print, but I thought that hologram would be pretty neat for the first one.
Absolutely, it's like a reflection in the water, man. Like the lure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
It all plays together, man. It's beautiful.
When I had a couple of different versions of it done, and when that one came up, it reminded me of being underwater. So anyway, speaking of Lou says, hey guys. Rob's on here. He says, what's up, guys? AJ Jarvis is on here. I've seen him for a couple of weeks now. Welcome back. Lure has some nice cigars. No joke.
Yeah.
Big Bear's on here. What's up?
Man.
Whiskey Loft is on here. We got some nice names jumping on here. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
And Lou is a great man and makes great cigars. 100%.
So my only other thing I had to talk about quick before we bring our guest on, if anyone is a Instagram genius, DM the pod page. So long story short, we did a creators page instead of a business page, and then we paid for the verification to so we hopefully won't get canceled again. I didn't realize that you need to be a business page to put the name of our show. So now it has my name. Instead of Real Smoke Podcast, and basically Instagram saying I can't change it unless I cancel the subscription and resubscribe. But I wondered if anybody knew any different than that. So if I'm just really dumb, let me know in the comments, and that would be greatly appreciated. So that's all I got.
Cool. I got a few other things to talk about on here. Today is my happy day. Not only am I on here spending some time with you, we have a fantastic guest on, somebody that I am extremely excited to get to know more about, because as somebody who prides themselves of being somebody who's very knowledgeable in the whiskey field, this is somebody I didn't know much about. So I'm excited to get to talk to her. But it's a happy day. It's opening day. It's baseball season, baby.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. Now,
my happy day got crushed. The Braves were winning. I had today off. I got today and tomorrow off. So it was when I found out that they were playing at 4:00 would be done right before the podcast started. I was like, perfect. So grabbed my cigar, got my pregame on, had everything already set up by 2:00 this afternoon, was kicked back here in the barrel house, feet up, TV on. Realized I could not get it on TV because everything in Tennessee is blacked out. So I got it on. We'll just say that one. Thanks, John. Thanks, Aldi. Thank you, brother. But Braves were winning all the way into the 7th or 8th inning and decided to do the most Atlanta thing ever. They decided just to blow the damn game. So, I mean, I'm used to it. That's the way Atlanta rolls. I mean, whether you're Falcons or Braves, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, we're gonna fall apart. So, but I got to watch baseball.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one we don't agree on, man. We agree on a lot of sports teams and a lot of sports in general. But the baseball, you're a Braves fan, I'm a Phillies fan, and it's fun every year. But either way, opening day, I am very happy as well. And by the way, the Phillies did win today. So.
Yeah, the Phillies won. Yeah, and you will probably during baseball season, because we kind of started the podcast this way. You will probably hear updates about the Phillies and the Braves. We're both in the same division. We're always fighting for first place. So you'll hear a lot about who's in the lead, whether who's got the better record. So if you guys are baseball fans, do me a favor, put it in the comments right now. Who are your teams? Who are you rooting for this year? I would love to see it. AJ Jarvis jumps on here. He's the first one. He says, well, my Nats lost, so not so happy for me. Yeah, well, I mean, you can blame that bearded something over there. His team decided to beat him.
Good stuff.
He decides to say boo to your Phillies, Mick. Let's see. What else do I got going on? Not only is it baseball season, but we the boys over here, we live in the great state of Tennessee. Technically, we're supposed to be Tennessee fans because we live in Tennessee. Mick, are you a Tennessee fan?
I am not.
I'm not a Tennessee fan. March Madness, not a Tennessee fan. But tomorrow, Tennessee plays Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky fan. Kentucky's had Tennessee's number this year. I'm hoping Kentucky continues with that one. So, yeah. Devin says Cardinals all the way. Get your ends up. Who wins everything that we do? He says hello, fellas. Yes. What's going on? So I'll be watching that tomorrow. Again, I have tomorrow off, so it's all great. The final thing I got to talk about is the return of the Mac. I mean, the Hatpalooza. I'm sorry. I should have had that. No. No. You haven't been drinking enough to be able to sing it yet.
You're spot on. Yeah.
So let's see what else we got going on. Tiffany's on here. What's up? Nice to see you joining us again tonight.
What's up, girl?
We do have Hatpalooza coming back. So Hatpalooza this week. Let me switch hats real quick. Bald head, just got fresh haircut. Rebellion Cigars, the black hat. One of our TriStar ladies happened to win the pink one when we auctioned it off. Her husband was really trying to win the pink one as well. He's actually in here tonight, Big Bear, which he says he likes the Angels. I mean, only thing I don't know about that, but okay, whatever. But you should really try to win the black version. You guys could go matchy, huh?
That would be cute.
No, they would be.
Like
Wouldn't they be cute together?
That'd be awesome.
Show up on a Tuesday herf with their matchy hats on, hats. Smoking the same cigar.
Absolutely.
He says he still wears it as long as she lets him, I'm sure. Again, guys, make sure you hit the like button. We really need to get the likes up on this one. If you guys are in the TriStar Herf crew, go to the chat page, post it in there that we are live, and see if you can get people on here. If you are in the Cigar Army, do the same. Go post it in your chat in your Discord. See if you can get people on here tonight. The Heathens, if you're on here, do that one. Let's see, who else? Who are the other clubs? We got a lot of clubs that watch. If you are with us, are you watching us live on the Cigar Vault, or you're one of the members, go tell them to turn it on the TVs. If you are at Scenic City Cigars or Smokers Abbey in Memphis, make sure you go tell those guys, turn them on the TVs. Let's get everybody watching tonight.
Hell yeah.
We'll finish up. I'll wait for Devin to jump back on. I know her camera's off at the moment, but let's go ahead and get in and talk about what we're smoking tonight. Okay. You ready to see what kind of information you got to spout out this time?
Yeah, how bad is it? Actually, I kind of pre-read it, so we'll be all right.
All right. All right. Our cigar tonight is...
by Lure, the Little Joe Oscuro. The wrapper is Nicaragua Corojo. The binder is Nicaragua Esteli. The filler is Nicaragua Esteli, Almatempe, and Jalapa. Price is $12. This is brought to you by the Cigar Vault in Oakdale.
And this is one of the cigars that you can find at the Cigar Vault. Make sure, speaking of the Cigar Vault, that you go on there and you use this nice little code right here, Real Smoke, to get you 10% off of your order. The guys at Cigar Vault are quick about getting their cigars out to you. Go check that out. Use the discount code. Pick you up a few lure cigars. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. So tonight, our guest, let's bring her on. Let's go ahead and get her set up. She is the master distiller for Big Machine Distillery, Miss Devin Walden. What's going on?
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
No problem. Thank you for joining us.
Super excited to have you. So glad to spend an evening with you tonight.
Likewise.
Well, like we told you before, it was one of the hardest things that we had to do in this journey is to find a female master distiller that was willing to jump on. And the two people who answered the quickest we have on here. So we had Alex last week who jumped, within the hour said, yes, would love to do it. Fantastic interview. And I would say within 20 to 30 minutes, you were like, hell yeah, let's do this. And I sent Mick a message and said, score, we win, we got this done.
Oh yeah.
And so we are extremely happy that you decided to do this with us.
Yeah, I believe everything happens for happens for a reason, and the reason we didn't get somebody else quicker was because we were meant to have you on here, and it feels like we've known you because we've been talking back and forth and whatever. And I'm just going to start it off by saying thank you for the Nashville experience, because I'll keep it somewhat of a short story, but this is my lead off for the evening. So I had messaged Devin 2 weekends ago saying, hey, I was in Nashville. I didn't know which distillery you were at. You said, I'm not there, but, have fun, maybe try this whiskey or try this or whatever. And about 10 minutes into our experience at Big Machine, downtown Nashville, dude comes out. I forget his name. I apologize. And he's like, hey, are you Mick? He's like, Devin told me to get you and take you back for this private tasting, whatever. And it was one of the coolest. So we were with friends, and our friends have a decent amount of money, and it's hard to impress them. They were impressed with that, and it was a lot of fun. And I greatly appreciate the experience and the hospitality. And hopefully, it's a bond that carries on for years, because we just love meeting people in the industry and growing our community. So I just wanted to say thank you for that experience. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, of course. And Cody, he is awesome. Something that I love about Big Machine that was impressed upon me pretty heavily when I first started was the phrasing, the Big Machine experience. So it's very important that, at all of our locations, we show people the best time. They see why we're different. And especially, at our downtown location, there's so many different bars you can go to. And yes, we're a bar downtown, but we're so much more. So I just want to make sure that while you were there, you got to experience something a little bit different that showed you that we're different than any other bars on Broadway.
I will say that was probably the place we spent our most time. We were in there 4 times total in 3 days. And it wasn't because of that, but it was because we enjoyed the experience. We enjoyed the drinks. There's so many bars in Nashville. I won't go on forever. That just either it's too young of a crowd that drives me nuts. I'm in my 40s now, and I don't love to get pushed around in a bar, because I also work a job that gets me stressed out when that happens. But also, when I pay, I don't mind paying $10, $15 for a drink if I can taste the damn alcohol in it. If you're spending $20 or $15 on a drink and you can't even taste the drip of alcohol in it, it's like, man, what am I really paying for? And at Big Machine, you not only got your money's worth, you got great service. Everybody was great. It didn't matter which day we were in there. It was a great experience, start to finish, and the drinks were phenomenal. I'm not typically a bourbon guy. I just recently, Charles, 2-3 weeks ago started, and he's kind of taking me down a rabbit hole. But so tonight I had to break it out. And Charles says I'm making him look bad because I actually brought your bourbon along with me, or your whiskey along with me. But it's actually great. It's great. It goes great with the cigar. And I loved it while I was there, and it's been a fun rabbit hole to start diving down. So I appreciate you being a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to do my little cameo too then.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
So Charles, we just got to get you a bottle now. But
Well, see, that's going to happen next month because my business is taking me out to Nashville. I'll be in White House area. So we're staying in between there and Nashville probably Saturday, and I'll probably get out early on Saturday. So plan on hitting up one of the distilleries and just looking around and seeing what I can get. But yeah, he's making me look bad because of out of us. If you talk about whiskey, I grew up in Kentucky. I lived and breathed bourbon. As someone who has 400 bottles in a collection and literally lived through them and love the process, he's been able to be the one who on both of our whiskey distillery episodes, he's been able to get the bourbon, and it's like, I'm out again. Sorry. So I can't wait to try it. I'm excited to try it, but we'll get into that here in a minute.
Yeah.
So as we always do with all the guests that we have on here, we like to start at the very beginning. We don't necessarily mean the beginning that you started distilling. We like to start at the beginning of you. So let's talk about how you grew up. Who was you as a child? Where did you live? Are you originally from Nashville? Who was Devin when she was a little child?
well, I'm from Lexington, Kentucky originally. I just moved to Tennessee 2 years ago. So as a child, like I told you earlier, I was painfully shy. My mom can tell you that. I'm sure it was a pain in the ass kind of shy. And I was always in sports. I was big into sports. And I was really big into art. I love to draw. I love to paint. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do as a career, so I went to a few different schools and ended up taking a break from school for a while and decided to pursue becoming a tattoo artist. And I did that for a little while, and I really thought that that was going to be like that was it for me. Like I really thought that that was my career until I found distilling. So I definitely did not grow up with a passion for spirits or a knowledge of it or anything like that. It just kind of happened naturally, actually.
So what part of Lexington did you live in? Because I lived in Lexington for 2 years.
Mostly on like the Palomar side, like Harrisburg Road.
Yep.
I went to school over there my whole life, so pretty much around that area. I never really ventured out much towards like Hamburg or anything.
Right.
I lived in Louisville for a year, and then lived in Lexington, Louisville. I moved to Florida for a little while, and then am now in Tennessee.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. I lived in Eastern Kentucky, out in Pikeville area. Went to high school out in that area. Before that, lived in Deltona, Florida, or a suburb of Orlando. But with my dad's business, we moved around a lot. So I found myself in Kentucky, and then when I graduated high school, they moved back to Tennessee. I decided to move to Lexington. I was seeing somebody out there, and our backyard was pretty much the football field, the football stadium. So we lived out there, and back then, every time that the Cats won a football game, they shot off fireworks. I never got to hear fireworks. That's how good the Cats were in football. But we always did really well in basketball, which I'm hoping tomorrow we continue to do well when they play Tennessee. So, just saying. So you lived in Lexington. You were more in the arts area. That was my background as well. What was that point of where it turned you into looking at distilling? How did you go from an art background, tattoos, into, hey, I kind of want to distill?
It really was just out of necessity at the time, to be honest with you. So I was tattooing at a shop in Lexington, and I was doing pretty well. And there was a tattoo artist in Harrisburg, so I'm sure you're probably familiar with where that is in relation to Lexington. And he's amazing. I really wanted to learn under him. So I decided to start working at his shop. And, Harrodsburg is small. There's not like, the type of walk-in traffic and things that you're going to get in Lexington. So, I had a lot of great clients who said, yeah, of course we'll come to Harrodsburg. It's not that far, but you move and then suddenly it becomes that far. And, I get it, but they don't come as frequently. And, tattooing, it's a hard industry. I mean, just like so many other ones, like being a beautician or anything else, if your client doesn't show up, if you have somebody reschedule, then you don't get paid. So after so many months of spending money to go to work, spending money to go home, not making any money, I picked up a second job bartending at a small bourbon bar along the Whiskey Trail in Versailles, actually, and still felt like I needed to make a little bit more money. So I had a friend who actually worked for a temp agency, like a staffing agency. And she said, I am working with Woodford Reserve to staff them right now. Do you know anybody that would be interested? And I said, well, I need another job, so tell me about it. And so really, like I said, it just happened out of necessity. I picked that up. That was my third job. I was a temporary employee on the bottling line. And I didn't know what I was walking into. I'd never been to a distillery before. As much as I love to drink liquor, I didn't have a passion or interest in how it was made at the time. But, something about walking into the distillery, it's, you think about the things that you have in every day, like bread or cereal or things like that. Like, that they're made somewhere, but you don't really think about how they're, you assume it's like machines, and there's nothing like really charming or whimsical about it, I guess. But that was not the case at Woodford. I don't know if either of you all have ever visited Woodford Reserve, but
I
it's
love
beautiful.
Woodford.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Totally unbiased. I think that they have one of the best places that you can go see. And just walking in and seeing how it's made, the whole process from beginning to end, and then meeting the people there and realizing that, if I worked really hard, I could make this a career. I was at this point in my life where I was like, I love tattooing, but I have to do something that's stable, And I could have waited. But and try to build up my clientele, but I did not want to put my life on hold anymore. So I saw an opportunity with distilling, and I ran with it.
So I guess I don't know if this is too early in the show to ask this question, but it kind of makes me think about it now as you just brought that up. So with bartending and liquors that you like to drink, as your career progressed, did that play any part in like, man, I'd like to make something like this, but changed this to make it a different, to kind of fit what you love? Or is that something that you just kind of follow what was already, obviously at Woodford, everything was set in place, but like now that you have maybe a little bit more play in it, is that something that plays a role in it?
Yeah, so I've definitely found some different spirits in general that I've loved, and I think that they could fit into like the portfolio of what we make, basically. So the great thing about Big Machine is we have a great presence, but we're still a pretty small craft distillery, so I have the ability to experiment with different things like that. So yes and no. I mean, a lot of times it's just making the very best whiskey we can, point blank, but sometimes, if I try something interesting that another distillery has made, I now have the opportunity to say, like, we could do that. We should try to do that. A lot of times, that's like in the form of like finishes, like different finishes on barrels and things like that. So yeah, at Woodford, it was very much cut and dry because, they're already established. They already have all their processes. So, which was a great starting point for me because that gave me a great baseline as far as all the basics and where to start. And, definitely gave me the foundation I needed to be able to kind of move back into the creative side of it now.
That's awesome.
So what was your role at Woodford?
So I started in bottling. So I worked in the bottling line, and then I pretty quickly moved into personal selection, managing the personal selection program, which is kind of like their single barrel program. They do it a little bit different because they take 2 different barrels and they blend them together, whichever ones you pick. I managed that for a little while and then moved into the distillery as a distiller.
All right. So how long did you stay with Woodford?
I was there for, I think maybe 4 years.
Okay. So, what were some of your your fondest memories there? What was some of the things that you really enjoyed about working at Woodford?
I think some of the best things about Woodford, which carried on into other places I've worked, is realizing, like we were kind of talking about earlier, just what a big community the whiskey community is. You know, seeing everybody that would come there and say that, you know, we're here to do a tour or tasting because we're celebrating a birthday or we're celebrating our wedding or things like that. I loved seeing that, like, what we were doing, what we were making for people and, you know, mattered to people. That, you know, they said that we're celebrating, so we're going to go buy a bottle of Woodford. So I immediately loved, you know, from that point on, being a part of telling the brand story for a distillery. And then also, ironically, just all the mistakes I made. So, you know, being in bottling and in personal selection, I didn't have to come to the realization yet that I was not very mechanically inclined. I did not realize until I moved into the distillery and I was making mistakes left and right. And I remember after working there for a few weeks, I called my mom and said, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I'm smart enough to do it. I'm fucking everything up. I don't think I can do it. But I learned so much from all that I mean, it's comical to look back on it now, somewhat embarrassing, but yeah, a lot of all good memories, honestly. Like, even like I said, all the mistakes and everything, it was such a great learning experience. I'm so blessed that I was able to start there.
So I always do my research here, and I read a few of your other interviews and then some of your posts on Instagram, and multiple times I saw the statement, I trust my gut and building community. So did that lead you basically on your journey through where you headed, just trusting your gut and or looking to build that community, or what role did they play? And I know that obviously those phrases mean something to you. So just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I get asked a lot, you know, what was your journey to become a master distiller? How do you become a master distiller? And it's an interesting question because it's so different of a path for everyone. There's not one, you know, clear cut answer for everyone. You know, a lot of people, they had a family history of it, or they went to school for chemical engineering or something like that. You know, I did not, but I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I knew that I had found a new passion. And so as far as trusting my gut, you know, making different decisions that, looking back now, I realized they were the right decisions. And at the time, I probably was worried that I was making a severe step back or totally sideways. You know, something that ever since I left Woodford that I try to keep in mind is that it's not always the fact that the door of opportunity doesn't open for you, right? A lot of times it opens, but it's not the door that you wanted or that you thought that you wanted. So when I left Woodford, I actually went to Total Wine and More to take a position managing the spirits department. And I, you know, kicked myself in the ass over that decision for a long time because I was like, I'm leaving what I want to do. I'm going to be so far behind. It's, you know, it's going to be irrelevant for some reason. I thought it could be an irrelevant decision, but it wasn't. I chose to leave because I wanted to learn more of the industry than just production. I wanted to learn about the retail side of it and working with distributors and things like that. And that was great because that was in Kentucky. I was working at the one in Lexington. I got temporary assignments working in Louisville and in Durham, North Carolina, and then was transferred down to West Palm Beach in Florida. And that was an experience in itself. It's a whole different atmosphere there. And again, in doing that, I was like, am I really going to go to Florida? Because I know in my heart of hearts, I want to be in distilling. There's great distilleries in Florida, but it's not the thing in Florida like it is in Kentucky or in Tennessee. So I was like, what opportunities realistically am I going to have? But I did it. And I ended up finding a new distillery that was opening in Miami, and they were looking for a distiller. So I ended up leaving Total Wine to join with them. And they were not a whiskey based distillery. So, going back to trusting my gut again, I thought, is this something I'm really going to be interested in? Because, their main focus was liqueurs. And I'm so glad that I did, because it was a totally empty warehouse when I started. It was just concrete walls, concrete floors. I had zero experience from building a distillery from the ground up. I had zero experience with liqueurs or things with sugar or flavors. And it was a very humbling experience, because coming from Woodford, I thought not only that taught me everything I needed to know about whiskey, but spirits in general. And again, it was very humbling, because I learned very quick that was not the case. So anyway, long story short, just a lot of different life path decisions I've made over the years that I've, at the time, very much questioned myself as far as, is this going to lead me to the finish line that I'm looking for? And, luckily I haven't let my doubt overcome that, because I think that it has worked out in my favor.
So we've got a couple of questions. I would like to go into a little bit more. I know you stopped yourself at your Florida distillery. What distillery was that?
So that was Tropical Distillers
Okay.
in Miami.
So,
like I said, mostly liqueurs. They did have a whiskey, a vodka, a gin, and agave spirit. It's a great distillery. It's owned by Mike and Marquise Pouncey, and they are amazing, amazing guys. And it was great getting to work on that and getting to develop some liqueurs for them. The main reason that I left was because I'm a whiskey passion at heart, and I had my eyes open to returning to Kentucky someday, or I was open to the idea of Tennessee because of the Tennessee Whiskey Trail. So
what working for them in Florida, what would you say would be the thing that you learned the most from them, or that experience being there? Because obviously you working there was just another, a stone in the wall that just pushed you back towards Kentucky or back towards Tennessee. So what was it there that continued your drive? What did you learn there?
So the interesting thing about working there was, even though I had a specific title, I certainly did not have a specific role. So, working at Woodford, if you need something that's supply chain oriented, you have a supply chain coordinator. If you need something that's compliance or legal related, you have a compliance manager. And those were all areas that I was looking to get exposure to and get experience in, and I never had the chance to until I started working there, again, out of necessity, because really no one there had the experience, including myself. So I just had to immerse myself with learning all those different things. So I think the great thing about that was I learned, again, just a totally different facet of the business as far as legal things, and working with supply chain and working with distributors in a different way, working with the city in regards to permits and things like that. And I'm certainly not an expert in any of that now by any means, but I think it helped give me a more well-rounded, vision as far as what it takes to truly run a distillery and not just be a distiller. because there's so much more to running a distillery than just running the still. It's a very minute fraction of it that I don't think I even realized until I started working there.
So one of the other things that I caught on to that other part was, you know, you worked hard at not basically second guessing yourself or telling yourself that you couldn't do something, or that, you know, as frustrated as you got and that you felt like you weren't smart enough from, you know, when you were talking about Woodford to over here. What was that thing in your life that basically helped push you through? I mean, was it, you know, mom? Was it dad? Was it just something that was ingrained in you? I mean, it sounded like you had a lot of personal doubt, but you also had a lot that you basically wasn't going to let it kick you down. You let it kick you in the ass and let you keep going. What was that?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, one, I had a lot of great support, a lot of great mentors. You know, I think back to some of the managers I had at Woodford who did not have experience, but ended up in really high position roles. And so, you know, I've always tried to tell myself, like, if someone can do something, so can I, to a certain extent, right? But I mean, no one is a superhero. You know, I talk about this with my brother. My brother is a comedian, and he is great, and he is hilarious, and he has a show coming up in Nashville next week. So if anybody is going to be in Nashville, go to the story on my Instagram. I'll post it after this. But you know, he doubted himself when he first started, as far as like, you know, is this even like a realistic dream or career? And you know, people out there have done it. It doesn't mean that it won't be hard as hell, but it's not impossible. So I think that I just had a lot of great people to look up to that have proven that, you know, it's not impossible. And on the flip side of that, not to be negative, I also had a lot of people in my life looking at their lives and where they're going with their lives and careers or lack thereof. And I knew that was not what I wanted for myself. And I think I've just always known that I can make a great career for myself if I do it for myself. You know, like I said, I've had great help along the way, but no one's going to do it for you. You know, I learned very early on that if I really wanted to learn something, I had to put in the hours and the research, and I had to enroll in school, or I had to look up YouTube videos and things like that. So, you know, I'm a very self-conscious person, so it's very easy for me to get riddled and consumed with the self-doubt. But I try to pull myself out of that pretty quickly, because I know that it's not going to get me anywhere. I don't know. It's just when I started at Woodford, I knew that like I had a goal. I had a goal that I wanted to be a master distiller, master taster, or a master blender one day. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And I knew that it was not an easy path. It's not something that you can just easily do training for, or, you know, go to school for. So I was going to have to do the work on my own.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing this whole month is we want to see that drive and what pushes you through, not only individually, but kind of as a whole. Because, I mean, I raised two daughters. I know Charles is raising two daughters. We both love seeing that. There's not much better in my life than seeing somebody that's like, I'm going to fucking do that. And that's pretty much where you're at. And that's awesome to see. You got something, Charles? I'm sorry. I was going to say my second part of that. So as you described, like all three distilleries, basically, what was the differences of sizes of the actual brewing? I know like Woodford is obviously a huge operation. The one in Florida and now where you are now with Big Machine, like was that a challenge in itself to kind of figure out the different nuances with smaller, you know, equipment or what have you?
Yes and no. I mean, it takes some adjusting, but at the same time, you know, once you understand the basic principles of how it all works, you can kind of apply it to any different size. So Woodford is large. When I was there, they only had the 3-pot stills. They now have 6, and they did an expansion. They have more fermenters. So, but long story short, they had, I don't remember exactly, but I think the beer still was maybe 2,500 gallons, to put it into perspective. The still in Miami was 50 gallons.
Wow.
So
Yep.
I went to real small. Now we had 1,000-gallon blending tanks for the liqueurs, but the spirits that we were distilling, that was like a very small batch experimental thing, was not the main focus of that distillery. So even though the actual distilling part in Miami was very small, the blends that we do for the liqueurs was huge. The liqueurs did do, as far as I know, still do very well. I believe that they did a deal with Carnival Cruise Lines and Hard Rock. So we were making 1,000-gallon batches of it pretty regularly. And I was not, again, well versed in spirits that have flavoring and sugar and things like that, and just how much of a nightmare, honestly, it can be. So, I traded off large scale distilling to large scale blending and batching. And then in Big Machine, it's kind of just the perfect in between, because we have a 500-gallon pot in Linville. We have a 250-gallon pot in Nashville. And we still do a pretty decent amount of whiskey. I mean, we fill probably max about 300 barrels a year, which is not, not many compared to some. It's more compared to others. But it's large enough to where, we definitely have to focus on a lot of practices that I learned from Woodford that are applicable. But not so big that, again, that we can't experiment with other things. Whiskey is my passion, but another thing that we make there are the pouches, the spike coolers. I don't know if anybody's seen those. I don't have one with me, but they're like adult Capri Suns. So getting to, still, immerse myself in other spirits that's not just whiskey. Big Machine's been kind of just the best of both worlds, because I can still immerse myself in what I'm passionate about and still stay well versed in the other spirits as well. I don't know if that really answered your question or not, but
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely. Yeah, it shows the different sizes and kind of the different. You've done the whole spectrum at this point, and you're still early in your career. I mean, technically, and it's amazing to see how far you've come in a short period of time. So that's amazing.
So just want to piggyback off of what Mick said earlier. That this is the reason that we did this month, and we called it Female Domination. We are both girl dads. I was also raised with a majority female family. I got 4 sisters and a brother. Most of my nieces, or most of my cousins, are female, and I have a crap ton of nieces. So I was raised with all girls. And, as someone who works with kids, and, we talk about, we talk to the young girls that, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you fight hard and you can go for it, because it's not a male industry. It's not a female industry. It's an industry. So you just got to go over there and take it. And that's, one of the things I know Mick preaches to his older kids. And that's one thing I preach to my girls. I've got one who's 23 and one who's 13. And that's the biggest thing that I preach to the 13-year-old is, it doesn't matter what industry you want to go into. You just got to go take it. And that's the way it is with every industry. No one's going to give you anything. Just go take it. So that's the reason that we wanted to highlight this for this month. And, everything that you're saying right now is exactly what we're telling our daughters. So, you're, especially when it, with Alex, what she said last week and what you're saying now, you're pretty much rubber stamping the reason that we wanted to do this. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And it's true. I say that I had the cards stacked against me in the sense of, I didn't go to school for chemical engineering or things like that. But then, just because you could stack your cards all right and it's still not work out in your favor. At the end of the day, it's all going to be about the effort that you put in, regardless of the experience, regardless of what you have on paper. And I've just tried to really always tell myself to not dwell on the woe is me, poor me. No one gave me that opportunity. You know, it's I will get the opportunities that I make for myself, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like I have proven that to myself time and time again, to where I trust that enough in myself to know that if I really want something, if I don't get it, I did not try hard enough. So it's worked for me so far, and
Bravo. That's
I
awesome.
trust it. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
So really quickly before I go into the next one, I do want to remind everybody, make sure you type in the hashtag RealSmoke to win any of tonight's prizes. Also, make sure that you're liking and sharing this. If you're involved with any of the cigar or whiskey clubs out there that we know that you're a part in, you watch the show or you're with any of the lounges, go tell your members to turn it on. Go tell them to like and share it as well. So you're in West Palm. When do you get the call or the idea that, hey, I'm going to move, and where do you move next? What is your next venture after leaving West Palm?
So, not long. It's funny that you were talking with Alex about keeping her off LinkedIn, because I moved to West Palm and I was still on LinkedIn, just like, I wonder if there's any distilleries in Florida. Just kept my eyes open for an opportunity, and that's how I found the position in Miami. And so I ended up moving. I lived in Delray, worked in West Palm. I ended up moving to Fort Lauderdale and working in Miami, because I just was not going to live in Miami. So there's nothing more I can say about that. So yeah, not long. Long enough to realize that West Palm is a very interesting area, a very different clientele. I did not know that yacht orders were a thing until I moved to West Palm. The amount of yacht orders we had at Total Wine in West Palm were insane. But yeah, so I found that position in Miami, and I actually went and I met with the owner, and I walked the space with him, and I thought on it for a while, because I was like, do I really want to work in Miami? Do I really want to move? And again, it was nothing. It was an empty building. So that scared me quite a bit, because I was scared by my lack of experience that I knew I had, as far as I had never worked for a startup distillery. But the funny thing is, well, not the funny thing, but the fact is, the owner hadn't either. So, I knew hopefully at least a little bit more than he did about the spirits industry, and I knew that I could figure it out. Anything that I didn't know, I knew that I could figure it out. And so I talked with him a little bit more, decided to hop on board with them. I moved to Fort Lauderdale, and the first several months I was working from home, technically, working with the architects a lot, working on things with the permits. I did a lot of formulating liqueurs in my kitchen. And so I did that for a long time before we actually finally got to move into the space in Miami.
Okay.
So what was next? You're in Miami. What makes you decide to leave Miami, and where did you go next?
So we got the distillery up and running. We were getting orders out. Everything was going great. And for one, to be completely honest, I was feeling a little homesick, which is funny, because ever since I was a kid, I always said, I'm moving to Florida one day when I grow up. And preface that by saying, backtrack, I always grew up going and vacationing in Destin and like the Gulf Coast area, and I love that part of Florida. And my naive self thought that all of Florida is like that. And not that there's anything wrong with South Florida, but it is not Destin, Florida. So it wasn't quite what I think I was looking for. But, I start realizing that I'm missing out on people's birthdays and things like that. And so I was already feeling a little homesick. So I was open. I had my eyes open for the right opportunity. right? So, I mean, I had looked at positions in Kentucky, in Tennessee, Indiana, and nothing quite caught my interest. I mean, I was open because, again, I wanted to move closer to home, and I wanted to find a distillery that was focused on whiskey. I think working there, I realized just how much I learned, but also that's when I realized that I now know that I really specifically want to focus on whiskey after doing this. I really missed being in a whiskey focused distillery. So, like I said, I kept my eyes open and, passed up a few, got passed on a few, and saw the opportunity at Big Machine. And I honestly had never heard of them. And so I did some research. I looked them up, quickly realized that they were a pretty good in between from Woodford and Tropical as far as they were small craft, not as small, focused on whiskey, and had a pretty good reach as far as into the market and marketing and things like that. So I said, the hell with it. Why not? I'll try. I applied. Did a couple Zoom interviews with the team, and I loved them immediately. I was invited to fly out to Nashville and visit the 3 locations that we have. And I think that was when I decided, not necessarily that I wanted to move to Tennessee specifically, but I wanted to move for this opportunity with Big Machine because it is such a unique company, because we have the 3 different locations and they offer 3 totally different experiences. But the main heart of it in Linville, when I walked into there, I felt like I had the passion again for whiskey, that I hadn't really felt for a while. I loved what I did at Tropical Distillers. I loved being a distiller. I loved the liqueurs. I mean, it is an interesting industry, getting to, develop those recipes and everything. But I felt like I kind of had lost my spark, to be honest with you. And walking into Linville, and you can like smell mash again, you can smell the barrels again. I was like, okay, this is it. I think I just, again, trusted my gut. I knew the way it made me feel, and I was like, this is what I want. This is what I want for myself. This is my next move. And, I'm fortunate enough that they liked me just as much, and they were willing to bring me on board. So yeah, I moved to Tennessee.
So that actually led me into one of my questions I have written down here. Tell us about the 3 different experiences with Big Machine, because I know you have the different locations. Obviously, I've been to the one downtown probably 8 times now in my 4 trips to Nashville, but I have not visited the other 2. Tell us about the different experiences.
Yeah, so Linville is the main production facility. It's about an hour-ish south of Nashville. It's beautiful. It sits on 28 acres. Linville, if you have never heard of it, is a very small town. The population is literally less than 300 people. Wow. My manager, when she picked me up from the airport and she was driving me to Linville originally, that was the first stop on our location. And going, after being so used to Miami and seeing like roosters on the street and things like that, driving through Linville and driving through the cornfields and everything, I was like, oh my gosh, she's taking me to kill me. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, am I really going to move out here, work in the country? I'm not my lovely team at work likes to make fun of how bougie they say I am, because they're like, we don't believe that you're from Kentucky because you didn't even know that was a hay baler. You've never seen a hay baler before. So I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. But again, walking into it, I was like, this is perfect. This is a real whiskey distillery. This is exactly what I wanted. So sorry, sidetrack. But anyway, Linville, that's the heart of it. That's where we make everything from start to finish. Our grains, all local Tennessee grains. Our corn comes from 3 miles down the road from Hickman Farms. We do the mashing there, the fermenting, the distilling of the whiskey, the distilling of the vodka, the bottling, barreling, everything. So you get a full-on, immersive, classic distillery tour there and tasting. And then downtown in Nashville off 3rd Avenue, we have the one that you went to, where we have our 250-gallon pot. So we do some distillation there, but that is mostly like our hotspot, like late night on Broadway bar. Like we have some of the best live music artists that come in there, great cocktails. And then the Tavern in Berry Hill in Nashville. It's like a suburb of Nashville. We don't have any production there, but you can go there and do a tasting. You can buy a bottle, but it's a restaurant, and they have great food. They just put out a new menu. They were voted best brunch in Nashville. They have bottomless mimosas with a V because we can't sell anything we don't make. So it's vodka and orange juice. And it is, it's a popular hotspot. So all the way from Little Lynn, as I like to call Linville, to, downtown Broadway. I think that's one of the things that made me fall in love with it is it hits all parts of the spectrum. It hits every single kind of audience. And I think that, it's a great experience that we're able to offer people at each location.
Awesome.
All right. So you stopped yourself when you started talking about when you walked into Linville for the first time. So that goes into what my next question was. You was at Woodford, you went to the small startup in South Florida. You really, really want to get back into the whiskey thing, and you finally walk back into a whiskey distillery. And by the way, one of the best smells in the world is when whiskey yeast is fermenting. When you get into those fermenters and you walk into that room and you hit that smell, to me, that is the best smell in the world. But let's go back into, how you felt. What was it like? You took your tour, you said yes, you walked into the distillery. Now it's time to get to work. What was that feeling like?
So it was great and also extremely daunting and terrifying because I felt like I had been out of the distilling game, like from like the mechanical technical side for a little while, from being in Miami where I was really focused on blending and proofing and things like that. So again, I had some doubts in my mind. The vodka still, if you've never seen it, it's the design is based off a Tesla coil. It looks totally insane. And so when I saw it, I was like, I've never ran a still like that before. I don't know that I'm the right person for this job. And to again backtrack, so Big Machine started as 10 South in 2012 by Clay Cutler and his brother-in-law James Butler. And later it was purchased by Big Machine, but Clay stayed on as the master distiller. So he was the master distiller from then until he retired in 2022. And so I came on in 2023. And Clay is a extremely amazing person. And the team that is there worked pretty closely with him for quite some years. So long story short, I had some really big shoes to fill. I felt like I was coming behind somebody who was a greatly respected, greatly talented distiller. And I was like, here I am, this young distiller. I don't know that I have the experience really that this distillery needs. I'm hardly older than many of the members on my team. So I think that's when like a lot of like the imposter syndrome starts sinking in. So, I was excited, but I was terrified quite a bit for a long time. But again, I did my best to not let that stop me. I think the biggest lesson I learned over the years, especially at Big Machine, is just to not have any sort of ego about anything. Like for example, with our vodka still, there is there's like an automatic valve that happens on there, and none of the distillers were fully aware of how to use it or what the purpose was. And so I was just very honest with him as far as I don't either. I've never ran a still like this, but we're going to find out. So I spent all day calling Vendome, calling the manufacturer of the little piece, and we finally figured it out. And beforehand, the distillers were terrified to run the still because it would make all these noises and pops and bangs, and they're like, none of us know how to run this. We're terrified to run it. And so I was like, I feel like that is my mission. Then we're going to start here, and we're all going to learn it together. So I definitely have grown so close to the team at Big Machine because I feel like they have grown with me, the whole way. And it's it's been a great time so far.
So I will say this, just from the time that I spent there 2 weekends ago, you have their full support, 100%. Because I might have thrown your name around a few times after that first day, but it was incredible. They're like, she is so amazing. We love her so much, and like you've obviously endeared yourself to them and proved that you're not just there, for whatever. You're actually there to work and actually make a difference and make the place better. Because the way I'm a manager as well, where I'm at, and it takes a while to gain that trust and that respect because you have to prove yourself right off the bat. And obviously, you've done that over the years.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, and I don't get to interact with the team down at Third Ave or in Berry Hill near as much as I would like to. But they are great. They're all great. I work mostly in Linville, but we have such a great team across all 3 locations, and it shows like in the reviews that we have online. And I think I'm just so blessed to work for a company that at all the locations, everybody's a team player, and they're passionate, and they truly care about what we do, because they could work at any distillery, they could work at any bar, and I think what we make is pretty unique. So we have a great team.
Agreed.
So you're now at Big Machine, which I love I love the course that you're taking, and I'm realizing that your story is 100%. I jump into a job. I don't think I can do it. I prove to myself and everybody else I can. I'm absolutely loving this. So, I mean, everything, every experience that you've gone through, that's the one thing I keep hearing is I'm looking at it and I can't do this. But in the next breath, you're like, and I figured it out. So that's awesome in itself. So you're at Big Machine. What's the first product that you actually have your hands in?
I'd say probably our whiskey. So,
Okay.
So we've been making whiskey for years. We have, loads of barrels laid down that Clay and the team made. So, we have several other products, but my first priority was I want to get a handle and an understanding on our whiskey. How do we make it? Why do we make it this way? And, we have always made great whiskey, but again, the great thing about starting at Woodford was I was able to learn things about certain processes and certain efficiencies and things like that. So, again, we've always made great whiskey, but we weren't making it the most efficient way. There was some improvements that could be made. That was the most obvious thing to me at the time was we have great whiskey. We could be making better decisions about it. So that was I think the low hanging fruit as far as like what I easily immersed myself in and the team. And, and so then from then, the vodka, we've always had great vodka, just learning how we can improve that. And then, outside of that, we've had random little projects. We've worked on some flavored moonshines. We worked on some different things with the whiskey as far as, mash bills and things like that. Because Clay made a great bourbon, great Tennessee whiskey for years, with the same mash bill. And with me coming in, and the team being open, the leadership team being open, you know, we're like, let's see what else we can do though, you know. So we tried our hand at some different mash bills and things like that. And, you know, the rest of the products we've dabbled in here and there, but I think the whiskey is what we've really focused on as far as where we can make some strides in the future.
So he's got a lot of barrels. The former master distiller, he's got a lot of barrels that's already sitting there aging. How long does your whiskey age?
Minimum 4 years. Our
Okay.
oldest that we have so far is 10 years.
Okay. So when will the first whiskey come out that is something that is not now been barreled from him, but has now been barreled from you?
So it'll be able to come out in 2027. That's when it will
Nice.
be 4 years old. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So are there any of those barrels that you're out there testing and trying that you're excited about, going, okay, this is one of my babies, I cannot wait to put this in a bottle?
Oh yeah. And I don't want to say exactly what they are because I could be totally wrong. You know, sometimes whiskey takes a turn for the south. Sometimes, you know, you taste it at 2 years and you're like, this is great. And then you taste it at 4 years, you're like, what happened? What happened to this? I mean, hopefully not. It doesn't happen often. But like I said, we've tried so many different things. We tried different chars, different toasts. So honestly, I'm just really excited about all of it because we have always made a great whiskey, like I said, but we're making it completely different than we have for the past however many years, honestly. So I definitely think that there's going to be a definitive, you know, you're going to be able to tell that something has changed along the way in a good way. You know, we've made only improvements and strides, you know, thanks to our distillers. Our distillers are amazing. Haley and Evie, they are the best. They have been so open throughout the whole process and so patient with me because, you know, I came in probably like a bull in a china shop wanting to try a million different things. But they have been so open and just on board the whole time that I think that we, all three of us and everybody on the team, are very excited for when all the different projects come out.
So we have a question from one of the viewers right now that says, AG Jarvis says, what are your thoughts on vodka being made from grapes? I didn't realize people made vodka from grapes, but that's pretty interesting.
Grappa, I think.
Okay.
Isn't that basically?
So grappa's a little different. So vodka, you can actually make vodka from pretty much anything. You know, we make ours from corn. Some people make it from wheat. You can make it from grapes. There's a distillery in Hawaii that makes theirs from pineapples.
Potato.
So, yeah, potato. Really anything with sugar. And I've had some grape vodkas that I love. I'm not the biggest vodka drinker, to be honest with you, only because as a distiller, you know, we put so much time and effort to make something so flavorful than to purposely make it unflavorful. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
I've never heard anyone describe it that way. That's amazing, though. That makes complete sense. I love it.
It's like, let's put all this time and effort and then take it away. But I say that, but our vodka, completely unbiased. I think we have one of the best vodkas that I've ever tried, and some of the best vodkas that I've tried out there were made from grapes. You know, whenever you distill, especially vodka, you know, for it to be vodka, it's supposed to be neutral and odorless, flavorless. But a lot of times, especially depending on how you distill, there's still a little bit of remnants of something, like, you know, sweetness, like from the grapes. So I do like grape-based vodka. I think that it's actually pretty good.
So let's go over, since you're already you've talked about whiskey that you guys make, you've talked about vodka you guys make. Let's talk about the line. What does Big Machine make? What products do you have your hands in?
We make everything. So we have our Tennessee whiskey. We have our bourbons. We have our vodka, of course. We do gin. We do a whiskey barrel aged gin, which is great. We do moonshine. We have a southern spiced rum, is what we call it. It's a blend of a white rum and aged rum, and blended with turbinado sugar and like some different like flavors going on in there. That's really great. It's really popular. We do a bottled old fashioned, so it's like an old fashioned cocktail ready to go in a bottle. You just pour it over ice. And then we have the pouches, which we sell a ton of those in the summer. They are the best. We're coming up on lake season, boat season, beach. They are the best for that. They're 12.5% alcohol. They freeze like a slushy. You have a screw cap on them, so we're coming up on spice season for sure. So, again, that's another cool thing about Big Machine is we make a huge array of different products.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know we were there. The array of mixed drinks and flights and things that you could get from the bar, it was kind of overwhelming, like the first couple times. But we figured out what we loved, and it wasn't hard. I mean, pretty much every drink we had there was absolutely mixed perfectly. And me and a buddy also got the bourbon flight, and none of it disappointed. It was an awesome time. You guys are doing a hell of a job.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you certainly don't have to. You can be a whiskey distillery and focus on whiskey. But with all of our locations, but especially in Nashville, like I said, we only sell what we make. So especially downtown Nashville, we don't want anybody to come in and say, I want a vodka tonic or I want a gin martini or a rum and coke, and we have to turn them away. So, as many products that we can make in-house so that people come in and they still feel like they are included in the experience if they're not a whiskey drinker is really important to us. So I think that's the best thing is you can come to any of our locations as not a whiskey drinker, as not a, distillery enthusiast. You could care less about visiting a distillery. You just want to have a great cocktail, and we can make you pretty much anything that you would want to get at any other bar.
Yeah, agreed.
So let's talk about your Tennessee whiskey and your bourbon. Tell us about both of those. What is, kind of what's your age, what's your mash bill, kind of what's your flavors? What would, if you're talking to somebody who's never tried either the Tennessee whiskey or your bourbon, what would you tell them about it?
So Clayton James is our Tennessee whiskey. It is 77% sweet white corn, like I said, grown right down the road in Linville, 11.5% malted barley, and 11.5% red winter wheat. We have a wheated mash bill opposed to rye, and that was from the beginning from Clay. He preferred the wheat over the rye, like the softer, sweeter profile that it gave. And goes through Lincoln County process, of course, sugar maple, charcoal filtered, and aged minimum of 4 years. And then our bourbon. So we have a few different. So, starting with this is our small batch bourbon. So this is 80 proof. It's a blend of a few different of our barrels. White corn, same mash bill, proof down to 80 proof. So that is like our approachable, easy sipper, everyday bourbon. And then we have our, what we call our race car bourbon, which comes out once a year. It's a limited edition series. We never do more than 2,000 bottles a year. And it features a different car, different racers' family, their life story in there, because the Borchettas are big race fans. And so that was where they actually started with the bourbon, was the single barrel cast strength release of the race car series. So we have our premium single barrel cast strength bourbon, we have our small batch 80 proof, and then we have our Clayton James Tennessee whiskey. All minimum 4 years. If I had to average it, typically like the small batch and the Clayton James are typically around, I'd say 5 to 6 years, not always, sometimes older. The race car series is typically older. But like I said, we haven't been around for too long. Our oldest barrels just turned 10 a few months ago. So,
Is there any of the barrels that you've been going through that you've been either testing or trying that you're super excited about? That's kind of like, this is my honey barrel. I'm kind of putting this one out. I want to see if this would, how this one's going to turn out.
as far as like just in our barrel inventory in general, or
or anything that you've got in a barrel.
Oh yeah, we have some finishing projects in the works that I'm very excited about. I think that people are going to love. I'm very excited about those. Some of the new mash bills, but also some of the older inventory. Our warehouse, it's not a traditional rick house. It's a basic warehouse, but no, no heating or air or anything. And it gets pretty damn hot in there, pretty damn cold. And so we have some barrels that have a pretty high angel share. And the proof is astonishingly high, and it does not drink like it at all. So
wow.
If we decide to put those out at cast strength, I think that's probably what I'm most excited about, because I think people will be blown away by just how drinkable they are. I'm talking 150 plus proof, and drinks 120 or below. So yeah, I think that those are going to be a big. I think those are going to be a big thing for us. I think a lot of whiskey drinkers are leaning towards the cast strength side, and our warehouse and the Angels have done their due justice on our barrels, because there's very little left and it's very high proof. So
yeah, I know that one that I had during the tasting down there. I forget exactly what they said the proof was on it, but it was way higher than what I thought it should be. Like it drank very smooth. It was great. And I'm not even typically maybe I am becoming a bourbon guy, a whiskey guy, but it was really, really smooth, really good. I would have never guessed that it was as high as it was.
Yeah. I love that about our whiskey. I love that our high proof drinks lower as far as how smooth it is. I love that our 80 proof bourbon still has a lot of complexity, a lot of character, even, with being proofed down. So we have a very good base inventory for sure that we're working with right now.
Awesome.
So we're just now into 2025. So what are you looking forward to for this year? Is there anything new coming up, or is there any goals that you have for the distillery? What's up for the next year or so?
Yeah, so we just had a pretty exciting acquisition. Sorry, my dog is behind me, and I'm like, what is that noise? So we just we acquired Pickers Vodka out of Nashville, and Pickers has a very, very great fan base already. They have a great vodka, great flavored vodkas. I think that is going to open up a ton of great opportunities for us and our team. But also, we're definitely looking into some other whiskey opportunities, offering different whiskey experiences at the distillery. So, we have the Bottle Your Own that Mick, you did. But
awesome.
We're looking into some different things too, because, as much as we're looking into as many things as we can to get people to interact with our whiskey as much as possible, outside of just doing a tour, tasting, and purchasing a bottle. So I don't know exactly what those experiences look like right now, but that is definitely a focus right now, is looking to see what other kind of experiences that we can offer people to come and have a unique experience, leave with a unique bottle that they won't be able to find anywhere else. So I think that's the big thing for us, is we have a great thing going with the Pickers Vodka right now, and then just expanding on the whiskey experiences that we're able to offer people.
Phenomenal. So since this show is totally random most times, I got to ask you, is that a surfboard behind you?
It is. It is. So when I was in Florida, I served, not well. When I say I served, I was able to get up on it, and that is about it. And, moving to Tennessee, if you see my house, it's all beach themed. I love the beach, and I was not able to leave that part of loving the beach. So I don't know that it particularly fits in Tennessee, but I was not able to part with my surfboards. I have them down here. I have them upstairs. Yeah.
That is on my bucket list. I will probably, if I can stand up once, I'll be happy. But I have always said, like, skydiving and surfing are two things I want to do before I die. I was supposed to go skydiving for my 40th birthday, and then COVID and all that bullshit. So still haven't done that. But surfing, if my knees hold up that long, yes, I am. I absolutely want to. That's phenomenal. So my last random question the night before Charles so graciously ties this back together into something we were talking about. I also saw in one of your posts that said, your favorite tattoo is the one you just got. What is your favorite tattoo? I'm a tattoo guy myself. I love tattoos. What is your favorite tattoo that you currently have?
So interesting. I'm trying to think of what that was. That was probably my chest piece that I got. I think my favorite tattoo that I get either complimented on or questioned about a lot are my finger tattoos. So it's, the different sources of flavor for whiskey. So water, grain.
That is fucking awesome.
Fermentation, distillation, and barrel aging. And I love this one because I think it's so relevant, but I also love it because this one, the fermenter, people ask me all the time if it's a cheeseburger, if it's a salt shaker. So it's comical because the amount of people that look at them and they're like, what? I really don't get it. And so I think that's probably my favorite because it's a conversation piece. And then probably the Kentucky one on my neck. It was the most painful and made me never want to get another tattoo, I don't think. But yeah, I that's definitely probably my favorite one too.
I absolutely love those. That shows your whole process. It really tells a story about you and who you are. That's phenomenal. I'm so glad I asked. And Charles, now you can tie it all back together. Now that I went completely fucking random. So there you go.
No, my last little bit is pretty much how we end the evening with all of our guests. We like to end the evening with some hotbox questions. Basically, 10 random questions that are random to you, but not random to us. Basically, you answer them as long or as short as you want. Have fun with it. There's nothing too crazy on there, but it's.
I'm not allowed this month to be crazy. So
yeah, he's not allowed. So, are you game to have some fun?
Absolutely.
All right. So before we do that, we do have to mention the sponsor for the hotbox questions really quickly. Let's talk to Beard Apothecary.
Hey guys, listen up. Give your beard the VIP treatment it deserves with Beard Apothecary. They are a small business on a big mission, crafting top-tier beard care products made by hand in small batches for ultimate freshness and care. A healthy, well-groomed beard isn't just a look, it's a lifestyle. That's why they use only the finest premium butters and oils to deeply nourish your beard and skin. No more dryness, irritation, or those dreaded split ends. Your beard will be living its best life, soft, manageable, and downright irresistible. At Beard Apothecary, they believe in the power of natural ingredients and serious pampering. Why settle for basic when your beard can be freaking legendary? Check them out at beardapothecary.com or on Instagram at beard_apothecary. Your beard will thank you.
Huge thanks to everybody at Beard Apothecary. It's just two people that's doing an amazing job. The mastermind behind everything and the face in front of everything. So thanks to Beard Apothecary for sponsoring us. We absolutely love you guys. Mick starts everything off with question number 1.
All right, here we go. What is your least favorite sound?
Oh, probably my dog licking something like furniture or a bone drives me up a wall, or babies crying. I hate to say it, but babies crying.
Honesty is the best policy. I agree with both. So, hell yeah.
So, question number 2, fill in the blank. For me, whiskey is all about what?
So, like I said, I have to agree with Alex on this community. I feel like there's so many different answers you can give, but that's the biggest thing that it has given me over the years is community, for sure.
Phenomenal. Yeah, that's why we do this as well. And I feel like we grew our family by one tonight, so we appreciate that. We just try to grow this one day at a time, one person at a time, and it's a lot of fun along the way. So, all right, question number 3: do you have a favorite band or artist?
That's hard. My music taste is all over the place. I like everything from Chappell Roan to Miley Cyrus. But honestly, my favorite is probably, I'd say, Blink-182 or Metallica. I'm a big punk rock person.
So I don't know if anyone's caught on to this yet, but whatever the guest says that night, when I do the follow-up thing after, it will be from the band that they say. So just saying, just watch for that.
It's got to be all Miley Cyrus.
All right.
Question number 4, what is your favorite guilty pleasure?
Probably tacos. Any kind of Mexican food or tacos, like that is if I'm going to treat myself, I'm going out for Mexican for sure.
I cannot disagree with that either. We should probably hang out more often. Like, everything so far is spot on. So is cereal a soup? This one usually either pisses people off or says what the fuck, but is cereal a soup?
No, I'm going to say no.
Now we.
I guess it could fall under like gazpacho, but no, I'm going to say no.
All right, accepted.
Question number 6, what is the one thing in your life that you're most proud of?
I'm going to say my niece, my wonderful niece. She's 14 and she is such an amazing young woman, and so proud of her every day and her maturity and how she does in school. And I wish I got to see her and talk to her more often, but I've always been very close to my niece. So my niece.
Awesome. All right, question number 7. If you could choose a superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, teleport easily. I love to travel. I hate the time it takes to travel. So yeah, definitely teleport.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as both of us are girl dads, question number 8. What advice would you tell any young lady who is looking for their purpose or how to achieve their dream?
I think I would say don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid of looking stupid or, uneducated. I think the only reason, not the only reason, but a humongous reason why I've gotten to the point that I am today is because I'm not afraid to admit that I'm wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that I don't know something. I'm not afraid to admit for help or for answers. So, ask questions and put yourself out there. Make your own opportunities. I've judged, just an example, I've judged 2 spirit competitions. But the second one I got offered because they saw that I was involved with the first one. The first one I was involved because I reached out to them and asked, I said, I would love to be involved in judging a spirit competition. How do I do that? And they said, great, we're looking for judges. And so they sent it to me. And, I wasn't afraid of reaching out and asking for that opportunity. So I think that's another thing too, is don't be afraid to ask for the opportunity instead of waiting for it to happen.
Oh yeah. Love that. All right, my last question for the night. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh, Lord. So I don't know if they're like really historical, but as far as some of my favorite people, and I would just love to talk with them because I love who they are, who I think they are. You know, I don't know them in real life, would be Betty White or Robin Williams.
Oh,
I think
yes.
that
Man.
the amount of questions and laughs and probably tears would be
Oh,
insane. So, you know, I don't have anybody that's like, you know, was a president or anything like that.
I'll say
historical,
they're both absolutely historical. That's a great fucking answer. That's
but
probably one of the best we've had. Like that's two names that obviously everyone knows, and I could not agree more. That would be one hell of an evening. So great answer.
absolutely, absolutely.
I would absolutely think that sitting down with Robin Williams, knowing, you know, how things ended with him, it would probably start all laughs, but it would probably end all tears. And
Mhm.
it would be an amazing, it would be an amazing experience.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely.
question number 10, the final question of the night. Well, I have a bonus on this one, same bonus I had last
Oh
time.
man.
Yep. So, question number 10, what is the best piece of advice you had ever been given?
Hmm. Um, I would say probably from my mom, and I don't know if she realized that she gave me this advice or that I took it this way, but as far as like not being afraid to fail, you know, I was terrified to move to Florida, even though I really thought that that's what I wanted because it's what I always wanted since I was a kid. I was like, but what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work out? I was mortified. I was paralyzed by that thought. What if it doesn't work? I think I'm just going to stay in Kentucky because what if it does not? And, you know, she said, if it does not, then you move back. If it does not, then you figure it out. You know, it's kind of been the piece of advice as far as like, what if I take this job opportunity and it's not the right thing? Then you will figure it out. So I think just in her way of telling me, like, don't be afraid to take chances because at the end of the day, if the absolute worst case scenario happens, you know, you won't die. It's not the end of the world. You'll figure it out. It'll be okay. So, you know, her having my back and being my support, all that, and my dad as well, of course, but just, um, you know, both of them having my back and their support has really helped me as far as like not being so paralyzed by the fear of what ifs with decisions.
Oh yeah.
So, my bonus question is this: as somebody who's in the whiskey industry and somebody who absolutely loves the whiskey industry, whether it's Irish, whether it's, I'm just now getting into Scotch, still can't do it, but trying, Tennessee or Kentucky bourbon. If you had to pick 3 bottles that's not on your shelf, and I'm looking at bottles behind you, so I'm not sure if they're yours or not. What are 3 bottles that you would say should be on anybody's shelf?
And so it doesn't have to be bourbon.
No, this is just according to Devin.
I
Not worried
would
about anybody
say,
else's palate. This is just what Devin thinks should be on everybody's shelf.
okay. I would say Russell's Reserve 10-year. It's one of my favorites, and I think it's one of the best things about it is it's fantastic, and you can find it. That's a huge thing for me. Um, I would say Westland Single Malt. It's an American single malt, and I did not think that I liked single malt that much until I tried theirs. And Bryn whiskey is a single malt as well, and it's phenomenal. It's light, it's fruity. I always tell people, to me it tastes like blueberry muffins, and I might be getting that from her. She might have said to me that, whenever that she made it, that's what she thought it tasted like. But those three for whiskeys, and then for sure a great tequila. I love tequila.
Oh, we really do need to hang out. We really that's my thing.
I love pretty much any tequila. I super love Herradura. Anything that's
Herradura is
aged.
great.
Yeah, and añejo and extra añejo and all of it. I love it.
Oh yeah.
And
Me
this
too.
is what I'm
Yes,
drinking
yep.
tonight. So Santo. I'm
Yep, that's a great
drinking
one as
their
well.
mezquila.
I've gone down the rabbit hole of expensive bottles, and it's not always the expensive bottles, because I've had way better $70-$80 bottles of tequila than I have $100 or $200 bottles of tequila, for that matter. And there's so many great ones out there. But yes, at least a reposado. Even when I get a margarita, I want to taste the fucking tequila in it. Like I want to taste it. I want an añejo or a reposado in my margarita. But sorry, going down a separate rabbit hole. That's what I've been doing all night. I apologize, but yeah.
So I'm just gonna button everything up with this. If you ever write a book, it needs to be, I don't think I can. Watch me how I did it. Because
Thomas the Train, I don't think I can.
Yeah, that has been the story of tonight. Is I don't think I can, but watch me. Look how I did it. And that is, I mean, that's something that it doesn't matter who you are. There's a lot of people that go down that train of self-doubt in every aspect of their life, but there's very few that stand up and say, hold my beer, hold my bottle, hold my whiskey, watch me. So I want to commend you on that one. Loved having you on here. Thank you so much for being on here. And I'll let Mick wrap everything up.
How do I top that? No, so I do. Again, I appreciate the experience in Nashville. Next time I'm in town or near that direction, like I really would like to get together and just have a drink and hang out and just shoot the shit a little bit. But phenomenal. We love what you're doing. I love the drive. I love the passion. We love everything that you're doing. And literally the everything I had there was amazing. And your name's on it. You should be proud of that. Like you've where you've grown to is just fucking phenomenal. So we appreciate your drive. That's why we're doing this month, and everything you're doing, just keep doing it, and we'll be fans and cheering you on. And I know we haven't done this with a master distiller before, but if there's ever anything you want to promote, reach out to us. We'll hook you up. And I know it's a little bit different crowd, but everybody knows how bourbon and cigars go together. So like we'll put it out for you. We're fans of what you're doing, and we appreciate you jumping on with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you all for having me. And, I love what we do. I love what we make, what, our team makes. We have such a talented team. I mean, I love to promote what the team does. It's such a humongously team effort. But yeah, thank you all for having me on, and please come visit us in Linville at all of our locations. All of our locations have separate handles on Instagram, I believe, so you can look them up on Instagram. Yeah, thank you all.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Go ahead and close it out for tonight. You have the last word, so let everybody know how they can find you. Let everybody know how they can look up any of the distillery handles, anything like that, website, social media. The final word is with you, so close us out.
All right, give me just a second because our social media handles just changed.
I saw that on mine when I went to tag something.
Midweek.
Yeah.
Like midweek, I was so confused.
Yeah, so like I said, since we have 3 different locations, I think that's the thing is, they don't want people to be confused about, well, which location is offering this that we're seeing on social media. So, so if you're looking for Linville, you type in Linville _ Big Machine Distillery. Downtown Nashville is downtown _ Big Machine Distillery. And then, let's see. The other one should be I don't want to take too long on you. I believe the other one is Berry Hill _ Big Machine Distillery. But if you find any of the two, you will find the others. I guarantee it. Mine, if you care to see anything whiskey related, is Wares _ Walden. Post things I say all the time. I really don't. I'm not that great at posting, but I try to post things that are whiskey related and my lovely dog related. So yeah, follow us on social media. You'll see all the different things that we're doing at all of our different locations.
Awesome. So to piggyback off of what Mick said, if you tag us in anything or collab with us on anything that you're doing either personally or with the distillery, we will make sure that we get it put out there. We'll make sure we share it. We'll make sure we'll put it in our stories, or if you put a collab with us, we'll make sure that we accept it. That way that we're constantly sharing what you guys are doing. That doesn't mean just for the next 2 weeks. That means anytime. So if you guys are willing to do that, we're willing to help get that information out. So thank you so much for being a part of this, and we absolutely appreciate it.
Yeah, big fans. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, enjoy your night, and we will talk soon.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you so much. And as we always say, just like that, another great interview is in the books. Interview number 20. I guess we interviewed ourselves on the first one, maybe.
Kind of counts.
Interviewed 23, 24, something like that. So, guys, if you're on here, make sure that you're posting hashtag Real Smoke in there. We have some prizes to give away. We have a cigar review to do, as well as some cigar news. So we will get into that in a second. But let's talk about it. What'd you think?
It was weird because I felt like because I had talked to her when I was up in Nashville, and she was gracious enough to give us that little private tour and whatever, and it was awesome. So I felt kind of connected already, but pretty much everything I expected. Just a really open, honest interview, and seeing her journey. And I guess the moral of the story is, man, take those chances and have fun with it along the way. It seems like all of our guests this month have been like, I just wasn't sure at this point, and I took that jump. And man, you got to take those steps to try to progress in life and meet your end goals. And it seems like our Women's Month, they've all fucking done that tremendously. Like they've all just taken those right moves, and it's worked out. So yeah, it was a great interview. She was amazing, and glad to have her in our corner, man. It was fun.
Guys, for all of you who've been watching and who've been watching the last month and watched the Women Domination Month, what have you guys thought? I mean, Mick, I don't know about you. I'm kind of sad that the month is over, because I think some of our best interviews and some of our best guests have been this month. So, guys, if you've been watching this, let us know in the comments. What have you thought about this?
Yeah, we've been pretty blessed the whole way along the way. But, man, this month, I guess, and I think part of it's what we touched on earlier. We're both girl dads. And I really think that's why it kind of hit home to see them push and strive. It's awesome.
Coop is on here. He said, I got on late, but from what I saw, it was a great show. She seems very cool, and I'm going to see if I can get Big Machine in New York. That would be very awesome. I mean, I am extremely excited to try what they have. I will be going up to the main distillery when Jennifer and I go to Nashville in a couple of weeks. I cannot wait for that one. I can't say enough. I mean, I don't know, like you said, if it's because I'm a girl dad or what, but the whole thing about, I mean, I don't think I can do this. I don't know how many times we heard, I'm not sure I can do this. I called my mom and said, I can't do this. And it was that self-doubt, but it was hold my beer and watch me.
Yeah.
So, and from everything that we're seeing, she may have had self-doubt, but she's kicking ass right now. Tobacco G Stick says May is Mother's Day.
Talked about it.
What's a whole new month theme? May is Mother's Day. That's a whole new month theme.
Okay.
Maybe. Sure.
Yeah.
Mitch says, very interesting young lady. Mike says, awesome, brothers. Josephus cannot ever have comments without Josephus being in here. Love you, brother. I'm calling the winners. Homer is up first. Uh-oh.
Homer's winning? Uh-oh.
Yep. Josephus, buddy guy for the win. All right, so we have to get into the cigar review. So that would be the next thing on the books. But before we do that, we do have to hear from our family over at Cigar Army.
Tonight's cigar review is proudly sponsored by Cigar Army. The Cigar Army is a community brought together by their shared love of cigars, but bonded by something much deeper, their mission to give back to those in need. Through Operation Give Back, they honor the courage and dedication of our military and first responders, both active and retired. Their bravery and selflessness make the freedoms we enjoy possible, including this very moment to sit here, share a cigar, and connect with our Real Smoke audience. Every puff carries a story. Every draw is a tribute to their sacrifices. This isn't just about cigars, it's about gratitude, about compassion, and about giving back to the heroes who shaped our lives. Join them in the mission to make a difference, one cigar at a time. Check them out on Instagram at Cigar Army 3 or search Cigar Army on Facebook. Together, we can turn our passion into purpose.
Phenomenal. Love that spot, man. And thank you, Cigar Army. Yeah.
I hope Cigar Army likes that one. Let us know if Cigar Army, when you watch this, or if you're watching now, put it either in the comments or send us a message. Let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, we support those guys 100%. They thank you for your support of this show. We're trying to help each other out. We completely love what you guys do. It's a great community, and a lot of our TriStar brothers are also Cigar Army brothers as well. So amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we can continue to support that.
All right, so I do have to post one thing real quickly. I guess I looked so many times to make sure the information was correct. I even sent it to Lou, hoping that he would proofread it and make sure it was correct. Come to find out, I don't think he saw it, and come to find out, it was not correct. The wrapper is the Oscuro. Let's see, the wrapper on the Oscuro is Nicaraguan Oscuro Habano, not Corojo. So sorry, Lou. That was absolutely my mistake. That was my screw up. I apologize. But now we just fixed it. So don't shoot me.
What a mess, because I even wrote it down wrong in my notes. So I don't know what I did there. So we're all wrong. I apologize, Lou. We love you.
AJ Jarvis says, I can only get Big Machine vodka locally here in Virginia.
Virginia.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let's go into the cigar review. You're up first.
Yeah, let me guess. I'm up first. All right. So for the Lure Cigars Oscuro, from the aroma from the body, I got hay, barnyard, maybe a little bit of raisin, like a sweetness in the background. Aroma from the foot, I got hay, baking spices, and again, that little bit of sweetness. Taste from the cold draw, I got hay, barnyard, raisins, leather. First, third notes, I got dark coffee, leather, light cocoa. Maybe some baking spices, a little bit of caramel, black pepper on the retro. Second, third notes, coffee, leather, cocoa, baking spices. I got a little bit of cashew in this one, light black pepper, and a little bit of peanut butter possibly on the back end. Like on the back end in the retro, it was I don't know. It was something nutty, butter, maybe cashew butter. It was I don't know. I'm getting better at this, but I'm still not perfect at it. On the final third, light coffee, leather, some cream, cocoa. I would say nutmeg is what I pulled out on that. Straight out of the baking spices, I pulled out nutmeg. Again, some nuttiness, cashew, and oddly enough, I don't know. You guys are gonna think I'm fucking crazy, but I swear on the final third, I got a little bit of black cherry. It was like this little hint of black cherry. I don't know. So anyway, so the pre-light experience, I gave it an 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment, I gave it a 13 out of 15. Construction characteristics, I got a 28 out of 30. Smoke production and final thoughts, I got a 32 out of 35 for a total of 91. I will say this thing was, the construction wise, was absolutely impeccable. I think it was just a touch dry, and that was probably my fault. But it was absolutely, it stacked dimes the whole way. It burnt perfectly. The smoke was consistent. Another absolute banger by Lou. It was awesome. I give it a 91.
All righty. Good score. 91. All right. So I do know that Lou's watching this, so I would love, I almost want to send him a link and say, jump on here right now with us and just completely tear us apart on this review. But love you, Lou. Aroma off the body, barnyard manure, slight fruit, aroma off the foot, a little musty, barnyard. Taste on the cold draw, sweet tobacco, plum, fig. Has a great draw on it. Absolutely loved it. First third, on the light, oak, tobacco, zest, pepper. Retro is oak, black pepper. Into the first, notes up front are black pepper, citrus zest, slight oak, followed by a sweet note. The retro is black pepper, followed by more citrus and a spice. Great draw. Burn is slightly wavy, has no issues. Smoke is thick and fluffy and leaves you with a sweet and peppery finish that is enjoyable. Ash is thick and holds the third. Strength is medium plus, lots of flavor. Second, third notes. Into the second, notes up front are a chocolate, pepper, followed by a citrus note with a slight mineral. The retro is black pepper, baking spice, chocolate brownie mixed with almond, and a slight zesty note. Draw is fantastic. Burn is razor sharp, and the ash still holds through the third. Smoke is thick and full and leaves you with a slight sweet finish. Strength is more on the full side. Lots of savory flavors. Really enjoying this third. I will say the first third, I was like, good cigar. Second third, I was like, holy shit, fantastic cigar. Into the final third, dark, rich notes of coffee, dark chocolate, almond, and a sweet, creamy note at the end. Retro is amazing. Dark chocolate, baking spice, coffee, and a slight sweetness every now and then. Burn is great. Ash is thick. And finally drops into the final third. Finish is long, leaving a sweetness on the palate. Strength is full. Final third was a great experience. Retro is outstanding. Again, first third, I was like, is a good cigar. Second third, an amazing cigar. And usually it goes like good cigar, amazing cigar, good cigar. The final third was like, holy crap, I don't want this to end. To me, it was a fantastic cigar. Final third was even more amazing than what I thought it would be. So, pre-light experience, 19 out of 20. In flavor enjoyment, 14 out of 15. Construction, a 9 out of 10. Draw, 10 out of 10. Burn, a 9 out of 10. Smoke production, 5 out of 5. Overall experience, 19 out of 20. Would I smoke it again? Or yes, I would definitely buy a box, 9 out of 10. For a final score for me, a 94.
Wow.
So that gives, with your 91 and my 94, that gives a combined score of a 92.5. We round up on this one. The Ascoro from Lure Cigars earns a 93 from the Real Smoke podcast.
I can't disagree with you on any of that, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of our notes hit the same. We just maybe described them slightly different. And I will say, because I was drinking it with bourbon, which I'm not really used to it, maybe throwing the profile off a little. The first time I smoked this was with water on my deck. I wish I'd have fucking rated it that day, because it would have been a lot smarter, because I actually had a lot better profile. But honestly, amazing cigar. And I agree with you. That second and third was absolutely incredible. I did not want it to end. It was awesome.
I will say that is the main reason that, like tonight, again, every night that we do one of these, there's not a chance in hell that I would have ever thought about reviewing a cigar. Sorry, my eyes are burning. I just can't do it. So that's the reason that I do the review the day before. I posted in an Instagram post that this is probably the most of the cigars, or the most times I've smoked a cigar for a review. I bought a few in Chattanooga. I knew I got some from Lou. I've smoked through everything, and I keep making notes to see if it's the same notes. And with a few different things here and there, it's pretty much the same. I think, it's one of those. I realized that this cigar is not going to disappoint at any time. And I've smoked them all with water. So that's one thing that, I've enjoyed, just because I guess I'm getting the full flavor from it.
It's going to be 2 years in a row the way it's looking that Lou's going to be damn near our top of the list, if not the top. So, yeah.
He's going to be up there.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Lou. Fantastic cigar. I hope you're still on here. 91 from Mick, 94 from me, 92.5 leaves it with a 93. So that's what we'll rate this one, is a combined score of a 93. Congratulations. And thank you for putting out such a great cigar.
Thank you.
So make sure this is your final chance to go ahead and put in the comments below #RealSmoke. You can do that from YouTube or on Rumble. Both of them will show up in the algorithm or whatever it does on here. Tonight's prizes are 2 gift cards from Cigar Vault, as well as a prize pack from Lure Cigars that's going to include a T-shirt and a 5-pack of Lure Oscuro Robustos, the small ones that we smoked tonight. So,
hell yeah.
Make sure you go ahead and get those in the comments real quick. We'll go ahead and get everything set up. Remember, we do need, I don't know if Lou needs your T-shirt size, so just go ahead and put that in there for us if you win that one. But we do need your name, address, phone number, and email address as well. So let's go ahead and get that set up. So any final thoughts about the cigar?
Man, I judge a cigar. I mean, I try to go into them unbiased every time, and I even though we love Lou as a person, we try to go in and just give it a fair rating. And every time he blows it out of the water, man. He produces bangers, and everything he puts out is just awesome, man. So we are happy to have them along for this show, and we just love having that relationship with Lure Cigars. They do a hell of a job. So awesome job, Lou.
All right, so really quickly, let's see. We did have a few comments on here. Let's see. Solid Smoke. Lou says he loves the Oscuro. Lou's the big winner tonight, 100%. Real Smoke. A lot of Real Smoke. I love Oscuro from Josephus.
Oh, yeah.
Lou does need a T-shirt size. Let's see. What size do I wear? I wear a XX, Lou. Just saying. AJ Jarvis says he's a large. Or he can be in a medium. So he's in a medium. Yeah, he's in a stretch medium. All righty. So let's go ahead. And the first one that we're going to do is, let's do Lure first. You want to do Lure first? Okay, let's do Lure first.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's let it rip. The winner of the prize pack from Lure Cigars tonight is Tobacco G-Sticks. You have to be on here. Make sure you post it in the comments. We're going to give you about 30 seconds to post in the comments that you are here. If you are not here, we are going to move past you, and you will be made fun of, ridiculed by all of your friends and family members, and we'll laugh at you for years to come.
I believe that's one of our newest TriStar members, isn't it? There he is.
It is, and he says, yay, he is here. Tobacco G-Sticks. Do me a favor, send either me, Mick, or the podcast a message that has your address, your
name, address, shirt size.
Yeah, name, address, phone number, shirt size, email address, all that wonderful stuff. We will get that out to you. He will get that out to you as soon as possible.
Hell yeah. Make sure you
right.
tag Lou in any post once you receive your prize. And,
please do
put
tag
that out
us
there.
and Lou and let us know. Big Bear says, "Congrats, Jesse." Greg says, "Congrats, G." Lou says, "Winner, winner, lure fish dinner."
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's go into the next one. Make sure you get those hashtags in really quickly. Angela just posted hers in. Good job on that one. So I got to look around the camera to make sure I see this one. Let's draw again. This one is for a $25 gift card to our favorite online lounge, the Cigar Vault.
That's a lot of people on there tonight, brother. Rob.
No way. Rob the Cigars are. Rob, are you on here? I'll give you about 30 seconds to say you're on here. If not, I get your cigars. Just saying. Hey, Mick, would you split those with me?
Yeah, I got you.
If he's not here, you want to split them with me? Okay, cool.
I'm in.
Crap. Rob says
anything.
he's here. Rob, you know what to do. Send me your name, address, phone number, all that wonderful stuff, and we will get those out to you, or he will get that information out to you.
Rob would bury us in a swamp if we stole his cigars. So congratulations, Rob.
Yeah, he would. Lou says, "Yay, Rob. We got more Real Smoke hashtags coming in. Congrats, Rob. Another Real Smoke hashtag coming in." We have one more $25 gift card to come in, and my name didn't come up. Maybe it passed your name up. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, crap. Did I just close out the window? No. I did just close out the window. Give me a second. If it ain't Mick messing up, it's me messing up. I'm just saying. Me. I can't see shit. What live stream are we on? We look at all these live streams on here. Look at that. Dang.
That's awesome.
Hashtag Real Smoke. By the way, if your name is already won, you can't win again because it's probably going to pull your name for a second time. Start collecting comments. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Once again, if your name's already been pulled, you cannot win. Just saying. Watch it go up to
Lou.
I don't know what to say about that one. Hey, Lou, you just won a $25 gift card to the Cigar Vault.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Lou,
you can buy your own
need
cigars.
Your name, address, phone number, and email address. Yeah. Hey, Lou, go on there, and they have a great collection of these cigars called Lure Cigars. It would be awesome if you bought some of those. And Lou says, run it again.
All right.
Yes, sir. We can't disagree with him.
That was like full circle, though.
Draw
I mean, I feel like that
again.
was the best ending point ever. I mean, it was like full circle. It's perfect. Who do we got?
And no. Sorry, Rob. I would love it if you could win again, but again, you can only win once. And because I had to restart it, sorry about that one.
I've also said in the past, Rob wins again. Not this time. Sorry, Rob.
Sorry, Rob. We're going to draw again. Sorry about that, brother. We love you, but you can't win twice. And the winner on this one is Rich Cooper. Rich.
All right.
Hey, Cooper, you on here? Let us know.
Our Cigar Army brother.
Give you about 30 seconds to say something. Again, if you're on here and you win one of these prizes, we need your name, address, phone number, email address, and your blood type, as well as your firstborn child.
That's a new one. I like it.
Rich says he's on here, so Rich wins. So Let's see. Rich. All righty. So tonight our winners are Cigar Vault number 1 was Rob Cigars R. Cigar Vault number 2 was Rich Cooper, and the Lure T-shirt and 5-pack goes to Tobacco G-Stick. So our 3 winners tonight. Congratulations. You guys are freaking fantastic and amazing. And we have to thank the man who helped us out, made this one awesome. Lou. I mean, thanks, bud. We couldn't have given something like that away without you.
show sticks and a prize, man. Thank you. We appreciate you, Lou.
By the way, Lou, I hope you saw it. I think you did, but we did get our stickers in, and it is the spoof that you created. I didn't do this one. You created it. This is the Real Smoke Podcast Lure Edition. We will be putting those in a couple of different packages, but I don't know what our plans are to do with it completely. Again, it may go to Patreon. Also, anybody who's listening to this one, we want to thank all the sponsors that we have before we move on to the rest of the stuff tonight. Guys, you guys are fantastic. We absolutely love it. We do have 2 sponsorships left. We have 2 segment sponsors left. And we were talking to some of the people on the HERF the other night, and they were asking how many we had left. And I told them 2. And they said, what is the goal between having the segment sponsors? And I said, it was for us to break even. We figured that if we meet all the cigar sponsorships that we have, we will officially break even for, each month. So if anybody's interested, whether you have a whiskey distillery, cigar brand, a cigar accessory company, whatever it is, you could
a vacuum cleaner business.
Yeah, I was about to say you could sell shop vacs. That's crazy. You could sell widgets on the side of the road and want somebody to advertise it. We will help you sell your widgets. I don't know what your widgets are, but we'll help you sell them. Sorry, shameless plug.
I think all of our sponsors will tell you, though, we will absolutely push everything that you're about, because we line up on 99% of it. We love this community, but whatever you're doing, we'll help you along the way, and you help us along the way. It's absolutely for us to break even. Anything we get above breaking even, it goes right back to the community and gifts and prizes and what have you. So we're just trying to keep from getting divorced and continue doing what we love. So thank you guys for what you're doing.
All right, so we need to move into our cigar news. We have I have 2 of them on there tonight. We have cigar news and we have Meanwhile in Memphis, which we do have a sponsor for Meanwhile in Memphis for this week. We'll get to that one here in just a second. But the cigar news segment is brought to you by none other than Cigar Public. Dive into the world of cigars like never before at cigarpublic.com, your one-stop destination for the latest cigar industry news, honest cigar reviews, whiskey articles, and so much more. It has everything you need to elevate your smoking game. Light up your curiosity at cigarpublic.com or follow them on Instagram at cigarpublic, because life is too short for boring cigars and bland content. 100%. Nobody likes reading and listening to bland content.
Hell yeah.
Wait, do we have bland content? Are we bland content?
I don't think so. I think we're good. Okay. Most times.
Hey, I will. Our first story, the first one out of the 2, is coming from a brand that I do want to get on here whenever we have an opening. I don't know when the hell that is. Okay. But have you heard of Apostate Cigars?
Absolutely.
Okay. Apostate Cigars introduces the 8th Witness. Okay. In a press release in Salt Lake City, Utah, Apostate Cigars is proud to announce the launch of the 8th Witness, a curated collection featuring all 8 of our blends in a uniform 4.5 by 44 Corona size. Debuting at the PCA 2025 trade show in New Orleans, this release is designed for cigars enthusiasts who want to fully experience each blend's profile without the extended time commitment of a full-size cigar. The 8 Witnesses offers a fresh and accessible way to explore our portfolio. With the 8 Witness, we're giving the smokers an opportunity to taste the core of each blend in a consistent format. It's all about stripping away the variables and focusing on the blend itself. Whether you're revisiting a favorite or trying something new, this size delivers an essence of every cigar. The 8 Witness line is available at select retailers with an MSRP ranging from $10 to $12 per cigar, depending on the blend. So you can go find photos and things like that at Cigar Public. As somebody who's only had 1 or 2,
yeah, same here.
I love the idea of being able to go. I love a Corona size cigar.
Yeah,
So the idea of being able to try every blend in a Corona size, I'm excited.
Yeah, that sounds like a roller coaster ride, man. That's what I love. That's that journey. That's awesome.
So I'm going to give you the option for number 2. I couldn't figure out which one. One's more bougie, one's not. I know you're bougie, but you're not.
I'm bougie. Yeah.
Do you want to hear about Davidoff, or as some of the people that calls it Davidoff, or I heard one say something weird, Davadioff or something like that. It blew my mind. I wanted to slap him in the face. But anyways, would you like to hear something about Davidoff or Foundation?
Foundation.
All right. Foundation Cigar Company unveils exclusive event-only cigar, Premier Fabrica 1810. Foundation Cigar Company proudly announces the release of Premier Fabrica 1810, an exclusive event-only cigar dedicated to honoring rich history of American cigar making. This special release pays tribute to the first known cigar factory in the United States, established in Suffield, Connecticut in 1810, a region that remains central to the craft of premium cigars to this day. Foundation Cigar Company's corporate offices are located in the heart of the Connecticut River Valley, a region renowned for producing some of the world's finest tobacco. The Premier Fabrica 1810 is a 5 3/4 by 60 soft box press cigar, right up your alley.
Oh, yeah.
Wrapped in a Connecticut broadleaf with Brazilian Matafina binder and filler tobaccos are undisclosed, adding an air to mystery and exclusivity to the commemorative release. Let's see, skipping ahead really quickly. Wanted to see if there was any prices on this one, but it doesn't really have. This limited 3-count box will be available at the Foundation events only across the United States the summer of 2025 and will not be for sale. Customers attending these exclusive events can receive a Premier Fabrica 1810 box free of charge with the purchase of a select Foundation brand, including the Wise Man, a Highclere Castle, the Asculum, Charter Oak, or the Upsetter. So if you buy one of the boxes, you can try one of the new ones for free.
Phenomenal.
Give me the Wise Man. Is it Corojo? Maduro wasn't up my alley on this one.
Okay.
But I would buy a box of that one just to go try the other one. So, yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah, there's many of the Foundations I enjoy. There's a few that I didn't, but most of them I enjoy. So, yeah, I would absolutely.
Which one did you not enjoy?
Are we going to go down that road again? The most expensive one, I believe, in their lineup.
I'm trying to dig a hole for you. Come on. Which one did you not enjoy, huh?
Yeah, I was not a huge fan of the Night Commander. I just wasn't. But here we are.
Wait,
it was a great $12 stick.
I was about to say, was you not a fan for it because of the price, or was you not a fan of it because of the flavor?
I did not love the flavor. I still would have rated it in the mid 80s, honestly. Devin's laughing at me over here. Other Devin.
I can hear him. He sounds like a clucking chicken.
But no, I didn't hate the cigar. It was a little overly earthy for me. It just wasn't. It wasn't my jam.
Hey, Mitch, that's what she said.
That is what she said. 100%. But yeah, enough about that. There are many that I do love. Tabernacle series is awesome. Why am I justifying myself right now? All right, let's move on.
All righty. So once again, Cigar News tonight was brought to you by Cigar Republic. Go check them out at Cigar Republic on Instagram or online at cigarrepublic.com. Thank you guys so much for working with us. We love working with you. And the final segment of tonight is the one that everybody always looks forward to. That's why we save it to the last, and that is Meanwhile in Memphis. But before we get to that one, we do have a sponsor for tonight. The sponsor for tonight's Meanwhile in Memphis is none other than Lure Cigars. Find them on Instagram at Lure Cigars or online at www.lurecigars.com. We've also got it on there that is brought to you by Cigar Vault, Oakdale, because you can find all of their wonderful goodnesses at that location. So thank you so much to Lou for your sponsorship for tonight. We absolutely love and appreciate all that you do for the podcast. You're fantastic. You're wonderful.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Lou. So before I get into tonight's, I have 3 quick stories. 2 are, okay, and the third one's pretty good. Before I get into it, so our Meanwhile in Memphis logo, which you designed early on in this journey, is now sitting on 5 or 6 people's desks where I work. I mean, you know where I work. I'm not going to sit here and talk about it, but it's people love that fucking logo, and my assistant engraved it on wood for people with their name beside it, because that's how we feel most days where I work.
So that logo is at the top of the screen, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah. So that logo is now engraved in wood on nameplates for 5 or 6 different prominent people where I work. And it makes me very fucking happy to know that it's going to be there for a very long time, or go with them on their next stage of their journey. So it makes me very happy. All right. So Meanwhile in Memphis. First story. Woman steals police officer's uniform from washing machine at laundromat. Memphis, Tennessee. The Memphis Police Department is searching for a woman responsible for stealing an officer's uniform from a Fraser laundromat on Wednesday. Fraser. Officers responded to Fraser laundromat. Doesn't matter where it is. They were told that someone took an officer's uniform from a washing machine. The suspect left the business with the uniform under her shirt and hopped into an unknown vehicle. At this time, no arrests have been made, but the investigation is ongoing. If you have any information, you could call. Yeah. So, what do you think she's going to do with an officer's uniform? Would never be impersonating a cop in Memphis. Never.
Never.
There is no way that would happen.
She's just wanting a discount at Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Free coffee everywhere. So this next one.
Standing ovation for this lady. I'm proud of her.
Hey, look, a cop's uniform. I'm going to take that shit. What the fuck? All right.
Wait.
So,
what the fuck?
There you go. Sounded just like me. All right. So the next one, I actually watched a video for this. I don't know if it made it out your way, but driver runs over repo man's head. So I actually watched this video. The dude lived. He has some like road rash burn on his face, and his arm is still like they're checking it for like ligament damage, but the dude's fucking fine. Like he walked away from it. Like the human body is pretty fucking amazing. So I'm not even going to read this story because I watched the video. I'm going to tell you what happened. So somebody in an apartment complex sold a vehicle to someone else in the apartment complex.
So wait, did that complex have a lake and geese?
It didn't. It does not.
Okay.
Well, not that I don't think so. But
okay.
It could have been.
Just checking.
It could have been. It could have been. It could have been. But it was a 1994 red Ford Focus. So they sold it to somebody else in the apartment complex. They didn't say the price. They wanted it repoed because the other people were not paying the payments to them. They were paying payments on it. This car can't be worth any more than $2-3 grand. But anyway, so this repo driver has a camera mounted in the back of his vehicle. He backs up like he's going to repo the thing. And you hear someone yelling in the background, hurry, get the car out of here. So the repo driver climbs under behind trying to hook the chain to pull it up onto the tow or the flatbed. The dude runs out of the apartment, jumps in the car, throws it in reverse, runs over the dude's head, dump, like backs over his head, and takes off through the grass, down over a field, and out onto the road. The guy is still wanted by police, and it's now an aggravated assault because he ran the fucking guy over. For a 1994 Ford Festiva or Ford Focus, whatever the fuck it was. What the fuck? There we go again. It's a crazy video.
Dang it, Bobby.
Look the video up.
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
Can't figure out which one to play on that one. Hey, I'm about to say, if you want somebody who can do a great representation of the WTF, have little Debbie over there next to you do it. He did it at the HERF like 17,000 times. Every time somebody said something, he was.
What the fuck?
Go ahead, one more time. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
There it is.
He's special.
Little Debbie is special. He's my
Little
buddy.
Little Debbie is special.
I love you, Charles.
Get your ends up says good night, fellas. Congrats to all the winners. Good night. Sorry you didn't win this time. One of the few times you don't win.
It is, yeah. We love that guy. He's always on, but he wins every damn time. So like, hopefully next week's your week, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully next week. All right. So our final story of the night, pretty quick one. I think I'm going to summarize this one as well. So 2 arrested following 3 daytime dollar store and Dollar General robberies. So first and foremost, the fuck you robbing Dollar Generals and dollar stores for? Like literally,
because you have low expectations of your life. Your hopes and expectations for your life isn't high enough that you want to rob a Walmart. You got to go to the Dollar Tree.
Jesus mighty. Like, you can't make this shit up. So the first one was a Dollar General. They got away with like $103. The second one was a Family Dollar that they got away with like $180. I know, right? You can almost buy a few good cigars for that. The last one was at a Dollar General, and they got tipped off because somebody had also given them like an APB of what the car looked like and what the guys looked like. And so when they showed up, the Dollar General, the cops were already en route to that place. So when the cops showed up, they got the driver like cornered. The second guy ran out of the Dollar General, tried to cross a major highway, and got smashed by a car. I'm sorry, I find it funny. He got flown to he got flown to Regional 1 with injuries, but he's also cuffed to a bed because he's also getting charged because he was the one doing the robberies, not just a getaway driver. But it makes me so
emotional damage.
I'm definitely getting my tires slashed, by the way. Just saying.
As soon as he got ran over and arrested, it was
exactly. I read that one. I'm like, this stupid fuck got what he deserved, but it is what it is. Here we are.
This guy was good.
Meanwhile, Memphis.
Those were actually really good stories. That's probably some of the better ones that we've heard, which is bad. Because if the stories are really good, that means some stupid shit's going on in Memphis.
It's warming up in Memphis, man. It's warming up, baby.
I was about to say, we're entering into the prime time of news articles for Memphis.
Yeah,
it's not too hot. It's not too cold.
The
stupid
wife told
people
me
are coming out of the woodwork.
The wife told me before. This is a little bonus. Meanwhile, Memphis. The wife told me before we got on. Maybe I'll have this for next week. But the wife told me that last week when we had those bad storms here, the power went out and some dude pulled his gun because he thought somebody cut his power line, and he accidentally shot himself in the leg. That one makes me happy as fuck too. But I'll save that for next week. I'll see if I can find the details on that one. So
I think you already shared it. I think we're good. Rob says, just goes to prove you can't fix stupid. That was well beyond stupid. I mean, there's way much more than stupid going on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in Memphis.
Well, alrighty. Well, I was happy that you had those stories. I mean, I'm just glad that you live in Memphis and I don't.
Yeah, I love the great state of Tennessee. It's grown on me tremendously. I do love a lot of things about Memphis, but yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking at times. But makes for some good news, man.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Next week, April 3rd, episode 25.
25.
Halfway to 50. 25.
Oh, yeah.
Quarter. We do have Greg Free. He's going to shoot me, stomp on me for butchering this name. I loved it when he had the old name. This one just completely kills me. But Fortaleza Libre, I'm sorry. I'm too redneck. I live out in East Tennessee. Sorry. But we'll be smoking the Intimidator. Guys, if you haven't tried that cigar, I've already had that one a couple of times. Can't wait to review it. It's a great cigar. Very, very robust. Go grab that cigar. Go ahead and order it from wherever you can find it online. But we will have Greg Free on next week. We've already talked to him with TriStar a couple times. Love having him on. He's got great stories. So
Yeah, great dude.
But that is next week. Huge thanks to all of our sponsors, Cigar Vault, Oakdale, for everything that you do for us. You're our title sponsor. You're the one that gives out, all the amazing gift cards. Beard Apothecary, first people who ever supported us. Cigar Army, our newest family member. Cigar Public jumped in there to show support and always sharing our stuff. And tonight's sponsor for the Meanwhile in Memphis, which was one of the best segments we had. Want to thank Lou at Lure Cigars. Absolutely. Can't do any of this without all of you. It's a team effort. It's a family effort. We love having you guys on here. Thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. Make sure that you are liking the episode. Make sure that you're sharing it. We are having a surge of people watching stuff on Rumble right now. We thought that Rumble was we don't have as many followers on Rumble, but we have more views on Rumble on every episode than we do on YouTube. We have more followers on YouTube, less views, which is crazy. I don't know how that works, but it's we appreciate all of you guys on there. Make sure you're subscribing to both of them. Go check us out. If you're not watching us on Instagram, check us out at RealSmoke_pod. That's our new home since we got evicted from the last home. Damn, y'all.
Yeah.
So once again, 93 average for the cigar we smoked tonight, which was the new Oscuro from Lure Cigars. I think I covered everything.
I think you did. I'll just say.
All right, so put a bow on it, tie it up, and send us out of here.
Yeah, I'll just echo that and say thanks to all of our guests. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to everybody supporting this journey we're on. And brother, thanks for all you do, man. You do so much behind the scenes and every fucking week that we do this. So I appreciate what we're doing, brother. And let's keep this fucking thing rolling and take time this week to smoke a cigar with someone you love. And have a great week.
Couldn't say it any better. Have a great evening. Have a great week. Have a great weekend.
Hell yeah.
Happy baseball day.
Fuck yeah.
Peace.
See you, brother.
Mick and Charles with the firelight glow. Cigars in hand, watch the embers slow. Talking life and whiskey, it's a show. Real smoke rides the breeze just so. A puff of wisdom with a sip of fun. Guiding through the shadows till the day is done. Inhale the stories, let the laughter run. Real smoke's how all the good times are spun. With a draw and a swirl, watch the worries fade. Mick and Charles got the cool parade. Cigars and tales and whiskey serenade. Real smoke where your troubles are mislaid.